Oh, hi. So, if you weren't able to make the winter wellness workshop tonight, or if you were there and you just want a review of all the things that we talked about, this video is for you. So, first, I want to start with a compliment. If you're taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to this video now, it means that you know this stuff matters, okay? You know that the foundation of wealth and being rich, rich in life, rich in relationships, rich in things, all comes from the foundation of health. So, with that, I thank you. I thank you for showing up for yourself. And I already know we're people that would get along. Okay. A little bit about me is I'm a coach, heyo, and I do two specific types of coaching. So, number one is I work with badass business babes with the 90-day one-on-one program just to catapult their creativity, confidence, and cash flow. We're talking about making money for your magic and stop this bullshit martyr mindset. Another thing that I do that it chose me is I do company culture and communication coaching. It just kept on coming to me, and it's hilarious how much I love this stuff. So I work with the leaders of a company to really work on company culture, mission, purpose, and communication, and how to get everyone up in the day, coming to work, excited to come to work, and also leave feeling fulfilled. Okay, so those are a little bit about me. And tonight at the Collingwood Library, we just talked about winter wellness, and this is something near and dear to my heart. I'm a passionate woman, full of purpose, and I know in order to keep that alignment going, I need to take care of my vessel, my body, and that all comes down to health. So in the talk tonight, I talked about three things. I started with seasonal affective disorder, so SADS, so winter blues. And the main reason is because this is something that I experienced. So I lived abroad. I lived in England for a few years, and I lived in BC for a few years. And when I was moving back to Ontario, I was like, I love Ontario. This is amazing. And I got here and I'm like, I don't like it here at all. Like, I was making plans to move. So at the time I was living in Toronto, I say it all British now, hilarious. I was living in Toronto, and I was living in a basement apartment, and I had serious seasonal affective disorder. I'm like, this sucks. Winters are long. It's dark and it's cold, and I'm just hibernating. What is this? And so I did some research, and I needed to get myself out of that rut. And so what I did was I did some research, and I found this study. I think it was Princeton or Harvard that did this study, and it was comparing North Americans to Norwegians with seasonal affective disorder. And what they found was something very curious. When they talked to, so and we're talking Norway here. So they were talking, like sunlight. So I always thought, oh, it's reduced sunlight and it's cold, right? So here's the thing. In Norway, they have like dawn and dusk, like that's it. Like, so very little, like northern Norway, it's pretty much dark all the time. And it's super cold. So colder than Canada, colder than where I was living. And what the research showed is just even the questions. So when they were asking Norwegians, like, how are you affected by winter, or are you affected by winter? They just like were looking at the researchers like they had two heads. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, they were mystified by the question. And they would come back saying, but winter's so beautiful. Okay? And so the researchers got really curious of like, what's going on here? And the moral of the story, and kind of just the synopsis of the study, is it all comes down to mindset. Change your mindset, change your perception, change your life. So three things that I took away is Norwegians are always outside. So that winter, I made it a habit to get outside 20 to 60 minutes each day. And I was living in the city, and now I live in the Blue Mountains. And I call Collingwood, Collingwood, I call it Collingwood Club Med. I mean, there's so much to do outside, skiing, snowshoeing, like you name it, like it's amazing here. But when I was living in Toronto, like city, crap. Sorry guys, but what can I do there? Not much. So what I did is I just went for a walk. I went for a walk for 20 to 60 minutes every single day, but I made it a habit to bundle up and get outside. So that's the first thing you can do to completely change the game if you have any sort of winter blues. Get outside. Bundle up. There's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing and a bad attitude. Get outside. The second thing that the Norwegians do is they really appreciate the elements that occur during winter. So, and this is Scandinavian culture in whole, but that feeling of coziness, it's going by the fire, it's being with family, it's connecting, it's playing games like board games. And so the second thing you can do is think about all the things that you absolutely love about winter. So a lot of things that I love about winter are outside, so snowshoeing, skiing, things like that. I also love going to Scandinav Spa. So once a week, it's my little treat, and I go to Scandinav Spa and I go for the hot tubs and saunas and things like that. And that's a winter activity for me. That's not a summer activity. Another thing I do, I have a sauna in the building. Another thing I do is I have a lot of tea, a lot of herbal teas, like these earthy, deeply rooted teas that I have and I love. Like as soon as the kettle is boiling, I can hear it and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I can't wait for this tea. I read a lot more. And I live in a place where I have a beautiful fireplace. So I think about all the things that I love. I love cooking hearty soups and stews in this time. So the second thing you can do after getting outside, at least once a day, is what are all the things that you love? And plan them in. So I'm doing like a sauna almost every single night, or a tea, or reading a book. And it's just the coziness of getting under a blanket and reading a good book, or maybe it's Netflix, maybe you watch a movie, like whatever you love, bring it into your life to really appreciate winter. The third thing that the study showed was watch your language, okay? So what we do to connect a lot of times is we commiserate. And something that, if we're having some sort of a gap for words and how to connect, we'll talk about the weather. Okay, we all do it, and not in my house. Okay, I will cut you. So I don't do it. And people, I'll have a conversation, but if it's a Debbie Downer every single time, I don't got time for that. Okay, so I will cut you from the conversation that I have, and I'll fill my life with people that see the awe and the beauty. So that's a big thing. Watch your language. How you talk becomes your truth. And just the other day, I was going into Meaford, and it was like a dark and dreary day, and I remember rounding this corner, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is just so beautiful. And then I took a moment, and I was like, oh, I wonder what other people see if they have the reverse lens of that. And I tried that on for just a minute. And I was like, so it was a dark and dreary day, so I changed it to see a different perspective. I'm like, oh, it's kind of dark, dingy, things like that. The snow is all dirty now. And I was like, all of a sudden, I just saw the same scene with a different lens. And I'm like, not in my house. And I switched it back to looking at how beautiful it is, how beautiful the town looked in that light, how beautiful the water was that day, and things like that. So watch your language and how you talk. So those are three things, and I promise you this: I don't have seasonal affective disorder anymore. Not in my house. So if you do those three things, see you later, winter blues. Okay. Second thing that I talked about tonight was family. Okay, so I did a lot of traveling. So I was a nomad for about 10 years, a decade. And in that time, I traveled to over 40 countries and I lived in 3 different continents. And I had a great time. And I always asked travelers, are you running away from something? Are you running away from something, or are you being pulled towards something? Okay, for me it was both. So I definitely had a calling. I just definitely had like this call to action, call to adventure, but I was also running away. Okay, so things with my family, there was things left unsaid, and there was just, I don't know, a connection that was lost, and a lot of different things. So I was definitely running away at the same time. So a few years ago, when I moved back to Ontario, it was my intention to get this relationship back with my family, the relationship of my dreams. Okay. And I always say that it takes a maximum 2 to 3 uncomfortable conversations of radical truth and acceptance to completely change a relationship. This is what me and my mom did. And it's amazing. Like, it's so interesting, the stories you tell yourself. And when you have radical, honest conversations with radical acceptance, it moves mountains. So the relationships that are meant to stay in your life, 2 to 3 uncomfortable conversations, I kid you not, will shift anything. So don't delay. You know, that's one of the things, people are on their deathbed and that's what they regret, is the things that they haven't said. Say them now. You don't know how much time you have. Just do it now and live the life of your dreams. Live the life that you love. Another thing I talked about in Collingwood at the workshop was you can't choose your family, and you can choose your belief system. So beliefs are amazing. Every single belief can be challenged because it's a belief. But the great thing is you get to choose what you believe in. And I invite you into the possibility of choosing an empowering belief. And I'll give you an example that I have about family. And so you can't choose your family, but I believe that I did. So what I believe is that we are all conscious beings, and that we've come back here with a soul's purpose. I'm very aligned with my soul's purpose. I know what I'm here for, and I'm making waves and making an impact. And my family, I chose them. I chose them for different reasons to be my mirror. Okay, so the ways in which they challenge me, it's giving me the resources to like a safe place to add more tools in my toolbox, and just to see what they're going through, just to see their life, just to see how I can help, how I can impact. So I truly believe that I've chosen these lovely individuals. And when they challenge me and a sensation arises, so an emotion arises, I get curious. What is this? What opportunity is it for me to learn? If you have a holiday function and you're going to go together with family, and you have a sensation, so say like an anxious sensation, and it arises, get curious. Get in your body and be like, what's going on there? What's there? And then whatever's there, so whatever fear or belief or anxiety, whatever's there, set an intention. So if you think, my mother-in-law is always picking on me and she's such a jerk and da-da-da-da-da, take 100% accountability if that is the result that you keep on getting. So the intention and your thought going into an environment set the tone and set the mood, and that is what you're going to notice. And you're going to miss out on all the amazing things, okay? So as you're driving to the next family function, take a nice deep breath and set an intention. So it could be something like, I connect deeply with my loved family members, or I have a fuckload of fun, okay? So when you set an intention, watch what happens and get very curious. When you come away from this, sit in the car and maybe it wasn't as desirable as you wanted because maybe you're just starting with this. So it takes a little bit more practice. Do this. Consistent, persistent action gets you results. When you come away, sit there again, center yourself, and repeat 10 times. Release, 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 release 10 times. Okay. This is a success strategy, actually. And you can do this with anything you want. Say you are at work and you have 2 tasks. Okay. Put an intention towards getting this memo out. Okay. And it reads well and everyone responds. So you put an intention towards that. Push away from your desk. Release, 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 release. New task. Okay, so I'm getting into my, I don't know, whatever it is, sales targets, and I'm going to pound out like 18 sales calls. I don't know what it is. You set an intention for how many you're going to convert or whatever. Set that intention, go to town. After that's done, a limited time, release, 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 release. Okay, success technique. So there you go. This will change your life. Your belief system will absolutely change your belief. So I want you to think about what beliefs are you believing? Your beliefs become your behavior. So if you notice from my example, I've chosen you. I chose you and you're helping me along my soul purpose. You better believe I'm nice to them, you know? And I'm very grateful for them. And I'm very grateful for when they challenge me. Okay? So choose your beliefs. Okay, moving on. Last thing we talked about, something very near again and dear to my heart, is called getting witchy with it in the winter. So I'm a woman, and this might speak more to women, and men, let me know too if this speaks to you. But what I learned early on in my business through burnout is that I have a monthly cycle. Not only a monthly cycle, I also have a yearly cycle. So with hormones, men have a rise in testosterone and a fall in testosterone in the day. And this is something that we've structured a lot of our businesses around, right? So day is done, we're done. Thing with women is we're a lot different. So our hormones rise and fall throughout the month. So because of that, I tuned into the moon cycle and my menstrual cycle. And the first day of my period, that's when I center myself and I just get clear and I set intentions of what I want to accomplish this month. You see in trends here, a lot of intention setting, a lot of getting clear. I also go for forward, and the second week is all about action. So that's my spring. Then I'm getting into my summer, and action, action, action. I'm also like, that's the time of my period where I'm looking good. I'm like vibing and profiling. People are drawn to me. So that's when I get out and I do my networking. That's when I get out and I do my speaking, all the rest of it. Okay. The full moon comes, or the middle of my menstrual cycle comes. What that is an illumination of my dark side. Hello. But also what's not working. So this is a time where it's basically like if you have a cluttered closet, it shines light on things that you need to, like loose ends, things that aren't working that you can kind of cut out. Okay, because the last part is a cutting out, and this is the same representation as fall. Okay, so I reflect here, like what's working, what's not working. Okay, cut what's not working, and this is like you're reaping the harvest. Okay, so this is I've done all the work, I've done all the networking, and then I'm leaning back, and all the coaching clients are coming to me. That's my fall, and after the fall comes the winter, or the last month. You see how everything's in cycles and rhythms? And so before I didn't know this, and I had massive adrenal fatigue because I was following a masculine model, even though I have a lot of feminine energy. And so I got massive burnout because I didn't go with this flow. So the last week right before my period is decompression. It's all about connecting to myself. It's all about self-care. It's quiet time. I say no like a mofo. It's boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. What do I need? So I'm thinking about my cup. Like, it's depleted throughout the month. And if I were to go, it's going to remain low. And so I'm not reduced for the next month. So this week is just all for me. It's all for me to recharge my batteries. This is the winter. Okay, so the same energy. And it's interesting because in the Northern Hemisphere, this is where we go to town, and it's winter and it's Christmas and all the other fun things that we do, New Year's Eve, all the stuff, right? All the things and all the stuff. And it's going actually against our energies. And it's not to say not to do it, but know that you're swimming upstream. So if you feel burnt out and tired, that is why. And I do a heck of a lot less in wintertime than I ever done before. And it's almost giving me permission to refuel. So as we're going into the winter months, I love this. And this has made such a huge difference, not only in my life, but in my business. Because this is the reflection period. So I go back to the intentions that I set in spring. I think about all the actions that I did. I think about the results and the receiving and everything that happened in my fall. And I reflect and I integrate. And it's just this amazing clearing and clarity period. And I just rest. And I still work. I mean, I've reaped the harvest. So I have the coaching clients already, and I work, and the money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. And I just get to have saunas all the time and go for long walks and contemplate and reflect, really go inward. So I'm a social being, and because my profession is very social, very like wicked conversations all the time. But in the winter, man, like I don't do that with many other people. Like I have clear, hard, fast boundaries. Like I stay home when I want to stay home. Okay. This is a time also winter. It's dark. It's time to see your dark side. It's time to see any limiting beliefs that you have. And this is a time for just being with it and being complete with it. So any disappointments from the last year, this is a time to get quiet and feel all your feels. The worst mistake people make is pushing away or repressing your feels. Good luck with that. That will explode. So sit with it. The beautiful thing about emotions is they arise and they pass away. Everything in life arises and passes away. Emotions do as well. And if you just sit with them, get curious, and listen, what happens is they just go away. And what happens is just this intuitive knowing going forward. It's hard to explain, and that's why you have to do it. You have to experience this stuff. Okay? So that's me and how I get witchy with it in the winter. And for a really long time, it was a big, big, big resource that I was not tapping into in my monthly cycle and in the seasonal cycle, especially here in Canada. In Australia where it's sunny all day, you might not be able to leverage this as much as we are here in Canada, in England and things like that. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. If you have any more questions about anything that I've said here, please reach out. Let me know. I'm curious if I've missed anything or if I can explain anything better. Okay? So please, please, please let me know if there's any questions. And something that I offered the crew in the library that I will offer to this group here. So whomever has watched this, now I'm at 24 minutes now. Whoever I'm watched, obviously you're picking up what I'm dropping. So at the winter wellness, I offered something that I don't offer typically. And what that is a strategy call with me. Okay, so a 90-minute strategy call with me where we get on a Zoom chat and I give you tangible things to take away and go for it. This is particular for women. I know more about women because I am one, and I have a real passion for getting women to stand up, step up, be their voices, and get their light out there because we need to motherfucking illuminate this world, okay? I like to do it in a business way, so it's purpose over profit. We make motherfucking money though, because the more money we make, the more impact we can get. And women have this funky mindset and we need to fucking get rid of it. So you can see how passionate I am about this. So this strategy call, sorry guys, is only for women, okay? If you're a badass business babe or a badass business babe wannabe, if you see me and you're a healer, helper, or teacher that wants to know how I'm doing what I'm doing now, I will help you. Okay. So success leaves clues, and all you need is the recipe. Okay. I have the recipe and I will give it gladly. So I'll offer that 90-minute strategy call for $97 plus HST. I might set up, okay, I'm going to maybe set up a link, scheduling link. And if I do, there will be a little link under this video. If I don't get around to that today, then just like message me. There is a time limit on this. I don't offer it. I don't want to leave this being an offer forever because that would be insane. It's 90 minutes, $97 plus HST. Everyone has $100. Everyone has an hour and a half to change their life. So if you're interested, this is available from whenever I post this video for 24 hours. Okay, so that's it. I don't know what else I can tell you, but have a great day. I guess that's it. And I love you lots. From my heart to yours. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.